Blessings, healing, I am believing. My way, my way. Blessings are coming, my way. Breakthrough is coming, salvation is coming.
Proudly supporting local artists right here on CCFM 107.5.
The views and opinions expressed in this program are those of the speakers and do not necessarily reflect the views or positions of any entities they represent.
The Big Positive Guy on CCFM 107.5. 107.5.
The theme was very evident there. Speaking about blessings, J.D. Crossan came through with Count My Blessings, as well as World of Worship, reminding us of the blessings that are coming our way. 16:19 Central African Time. If you've just tuned in, warm welcome to the CCFM Drive with Natasha and myself, Romeo.
Of course, it is a brand new week, a brand new month, and loving all the messages that have come through already. Now, we posed the question to you and we said, listen, what are you hopeful for in the month of September? And Romeo mentioned quite a good point, saying, you know, you need to come to the table as well. What are you prepared to do differently? What are you changing that you absolutely have to change? And so, as I've mentioned, loving all the messages that have come through. Speaking of a new month, of course, we also have Andre, the Big Positive Guy, as well as Tino B alive in studio. And today's conversation talks about exactly that. Spring, the significance of spring, the whole thing of renewal and rebirth, the whole shebang.
Absolutely. And if you want to send through your questions, send them in now on 0617981075. The amazing Tina B alive, as well as the gorgeous Andre in studio. Good afternoon, family.
Tell me that we raised more money than everybody else for those 15 minutes that we did last year.
We need the the audit team to just confirm.
Need the audit team just to confirm.
Yeah, they're just busy confirming all the numbers.
Did you have a great weekend?
Oh, it was the most remarkable weekend. The sun was out for change. As a Durbanite, that was just like magical. And then I went to the most incredible market and caught up with some friends that were visiting from KZN.
What's the market called again?
Oranjezicht
I've
Farm Market in the city. Yeah. Unbelievable. It was magic. It was such a special day.
What a place we live in. We just came a little bit early. We went to a coffee shop across the road here. And so we walked and we stood on the beach and we watched the surfers. Then we walked inside the restaurant and they had a big fireplace going and everyone was gathered around the fire.
It's crazy.
And I thought, this is a crazy town to live in.
But be that as it may, you guys are here. Andre, how was your weekend? Good?
It was fantabulous, as they always are. But I must say today was just lifted my spirits. In that was a beautiful day. They said 28. Everyone was trying to argue what the temperature is going to be. I said, one of the other radio stations said it was going to be 30, and another one said 28. I think it's about 25. But 25, considering the last 6 or 7 weeks that we've had, is glorious.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So we've absolutely been loving it. But it also brought me to the mind the first of spring. I know it's the second today, but does it mean anything different? And I think in a religious context or a Christian context, seasons are very, very well documented, and there are things that we need to do. So I was wondering if we shouldn't just start off today and maybe chat a little bit about some of the things that we potentially can do during spring. So last night, my wife showed me a horror movie. It was so scary. It was one of these programs where people hoard, where people just collect things, like they've eaten for 2 years and never thrown away a packet or washed a dish or, never flushed the toilet for 3 years. And I was absolutely terrified.
Yeah.
And it's amazing. These people went in and they cleaned their houses, and just how it gives you such a fresh start. So my wife and I walked around the house and just looked at things and ran our fingers like inspectors across the top of the fridge or across the tiles or on top of the shower, or, just to see what it looks like.
Yeah.
And I thought to myself, there's something so special about refreshing your life. And we made a commitment in the next month, we are going to give our house a proper spring clean. Now, I know it sounds like a little thing,
Yeah.
But what happens, I just think, just as I went through, I could feel my heart lifting. Just the opportunity to be able to wash the windows and do all these wonderful things. And I'm just wondering, is it just me that feels like this? But my spirit is completely different from the sad days, the seasonal affective disorder.
Yeah.
When it's always dark and cold. Tina, what are you planning anything special for decluttering, cleaning?
I still got boxes that I haven't unpacked, if I'm honest with you.
Yeah.
But just in terms of clothes, it's time for me to start digging out those cooler items, like the things that are not so heavy. Packing away double pairs of leggings, maybe only wearing one pair of leggings for a while. But
Relatable.
Yeah, exactly.
Totally.
But also, I think yes, absolutely, we need to spring clean the outside. But what about the inside? What about your body? What about your mind?
Yeah. No, absolutely.
Like for me as a woman, like, ooh, the sun's shining. I want to put on my costume. Whoa, put on those winter pants. Time to shed some kgs.
No, 100%.
Yeah.
I want to, before we touch on the inner sort of decluttering, I want to talk about the outer. You mentioned, spring cleaning, and it's such a mission though to get to like proper spring cleaning and getting to like the corners, where the dust is lying, and restructuring your entire wardrobe.
One of the things that happened in this really long life of mine is I was sent to the military. And having grown up like a spoiled little white kid in Durban, I had not really conceptualized the idea of cleaning or ironing or anything like that. And the army drilled that into us. And one of the things I'll never forget was going into the bathroom and they're being told to clean the bathroom. And then they come there and they use their fingers and they sort of look underneath, like on the edge of the tap. There's grime. And you're like, how am I supposed to clean this?
Right.
With your toothbrush. You've got to clean it with your toothbrush. Yeah. And so what happens is there's a level of cleaning, which I think is almost a simile for the level of cleaning that needs to happen within our souls and within our personalities. And one of the things, and I'm so glad you brought it up, Tina, because the cleaning on the outside, the physical cleaning, is almost symbolic of the cleaning that needs to happen inside. So what does that mean? So maybe I can just throw some ideas.
Thought-provoking ideas.
Everybody says to me, I can't wake up when it's dark.
Right.
Okay. What does that mean? You wake up when the light comes up. Booty, you better be careful what you say, because the sun's coming up earlier and earlier. Does that mean you wake up at 5:30? Does that mean you wake up? Does it mean you're going to stay awake till 9 o'clock? Not like me. 7 o'clock, I'm in bed under the duvet with electric blanket on watching TV. Does that mean there's going to be some physical manifestation of the change?
Sure.
I was even reading things about, I love winter because I'm one of those slow cooking guys. I put the roast into the slow cooker and cook it for 9 hours. And then when it's just
9 hours.
beautiful, we eat it. But the reality is that we even eat differently during spring and during summer.
Yeah.
And so I was wondering, how much of these things have you planned? And how much are you physically, because nothing that you just leave to chance actually happens. So maybe this is the time for us to refresh ourselves on the outside and on the inside.
There's a sense of renewal as well when we speak about spring, starting over and, starting afresh. I know that at least I did, I'm starting this whole 90 days thing, if I can call it that. And it's difficult to start, but I think the important thing is to see it through, right?
What is the 90-day thing? Confess.
So it's
confess in front of your entire audience.
It's just between us, just the four of us.
Nobody's listening.
But in a nutshell, basically changing the way I eat.
Absolutely.
Being more intentional about, working out, waking up earlier at 5:30, having
Sleeping
my devotions.
well.
Exactly. And so I think once it's on the wall and plucked somewhere where you can see it, it sort of becomes habit and it's routine.
I think we should start taking photographs of you now. So
Yeah,
that we can
before and after.
see in 90 days.
Yeah, it's very difficult.
It is very difficult.
And that's the thing we can't shy away from. And I'm sure our listeners can relate as well. Starting something new and then, seeing it till the end is very difficult. But the beauty is you can start, it's the 2nd of September.
Nothing worth doing
Yeah.
is easy. That's why it's worth doing it.
So has anybody out there got anything amazing that they want to challenge themselves with? We've just had the True Confessions by Natasha, saying she's doing the 90 days.
We're opening up the table for other people.
One of the things
door.
that I also found is that, we often use, in Cape Town especially, we use Cape Town as an excuse for not doing stuff. So what can we do? So when Tina first arrived and we started having spring, one of the things we didn't, and I loved it so much, and I'm hoping she's going to do it again with us, is every second weekend, we would pick something like this market that she was talking about. And every single second Sunday, we would go somewhere in the afternoon, go to Babylon's touring, or, go to a beach, or go to a restaurant, or have a cup of coffee somewhere like it, just to see different scenery, just to open our
Very
minds to
important.
something more important. I was also wondering in terms of one of the things that I believe is very, very refreshing in spring is nature. So what are you going to do about nature? So I think the smallest thing we can do is to maybe spend more time outside, more time in the garden. Tina and I were speaking, and she said, well, what happens if I got a flat? So I said, buy a plant, buy something flowering, and see if you can make it flower.
Yes.
I've got a nice little garden, but the thing is for me is to take it there and refresh it and make it something special. Make it our own little paradise.
Yeah.
And then if I don't have our own little paradise, go somewhere where there is a little paradise. And Cape Town is full of those places.
Oh, yeah. Absolutely.
Oh, Andre, so young but so wise.
Oh, thank you. It's the gorgeousness that's coming
I
out.
was going to say. Absolutely.
Romeo, what do you want?
Everything.
This session is becoming quite crazy.
We need help. Come.
Help.
No, I'm kidding. But I before I give over to you, Romeo, I think we want to pose the question to our listeners as well. We've already sort of set the tone, and we've asked this question when we open up the program. Any hopes and dreams or short-term goals that you're wanting to achieve? And it doesn't have to be anything drastic. I mean, maybe you're wanting to change your sleeping time, and you're wanting to sleep a little bit earlier. Maybe you're wanting to drink more water. Again, let us know. 061-798-1075. Renewal. And there was another word. It was an R as well that we used, but I remember renewal. Let us know. 061-798-1075.
Could it have been restoration?
There we go.
perhaps? Okay.
Rebirth.
Rebirth. That's the one, actually. Rebirth. Yeah.
I love that. Perhaps as well, I love how you've mentioned as well, maybe you have a certain outfit that you need to get into, but you need to set the weight, in order to get into it. Maybe that's the big goal that you're chasing, or small baby steps that you're taking for that. Andre, I loved how you mentioned in the beginning the changes that we can make and how we can make the most out of our spring, out of this new season that we're about to tap into. I'd love to find out from you in terms of renewal as well, from a Christian aspect, any points that you'd like to touch on there.
Yes, absolutely. I think we need to set goals in terms of our faith, exactly like we set goals in terms of our weight. And I must be honest, I actually had a very moving thing. I used to go to church. I didn't go there anymore. And the other day I met somebody from there who doesn't know me, and I don't know him. But just sitting and chatting with him, I had such a longing to go back.
Sure.
And I thought to myself, maybe I should, maybe I should just go back and see why did I leave? What is there? But it felt to me like the wheel had turned.
Yeah.
And this was the season.
Sure.
And I'm sure I'm not the only one who says that, and out there in the churches and stuff like that. And I thought to myself, I'd love to do it. Now that's become a goal. So the question is, I wrote him the other day and I said, you really touched me. You really, gave me a will to come back again. But now he's pressurizing me. So
when are you coming?
When are you coming? So now what I've got to do is I've actually got to make a date.
Okay, I'm going to hold you to that because I'm going to come with you.
Love that. And perhaps there's someone out there listening as well. Maybe you haven't been to church in a while. Maybe you are struggling to, read your Bible on a regular basis. I think, again, start small, even if it's 2 scriptures a day, a week, but it's all about starting.
Speaking of starting as well, Tina, how important would you say it is to have an accountability partner, or someone, who's there, to check up on you and to make sure, for example, have you done this, or are you doing this? Or let's walk this together.
Yeah.
Sometimes an accountability partner is the difference between succeeding and failing. Because it's so valuable to just have that person that checks in on you and says, hey, how's it going? And as much as, and we always make excuses, we are our best excuse makers for ourselves. And there's always a reason why you can't. But this person is going to be the reason why you should. And that just adds to that level of motivation, because like I said earlier, anything worth doing is difficult. If it wasn't difficult, everyone would have done it by now. So, I mean, and it's also just a case of one step at a time, guys. Yeah. You don't have to clean your whole house one day. Do one room a weekend.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, don't, And for me, it's just going to be one box a week.
Mm.
And I've got to
Gradually
set
getting
that.
there.
I've got to
It's going
set
to be
that
2
goal.
years before you finish your boxes.
But she'll finish
100
nonetheless,
boxes.
though.
Yeah,
Do you know
well,
what I
there's
mean?
12 boxes. So, like,
So I have a confession for you, Natasha.
check with me in 12 weeks.
So last week, I got a friend of mine who's a big boy like me,
Mhm.
and we decided we were going to go on diet together. Also a 90-day diet.
Mhm.
And so we found each other, and we fasted in the morning, the first morning, and then we weighed ourselves and sent each other our weights. He's phoned me about 4 times this week, and I've had to ignore his phone call because
Speaking
Ever-
of accountability,
ever
partner.
since I've been on diet,
Yeah.
I am so hungry. So yesterday I weighed myself, and I thought I'll weigh myself and I'll confess and phone him, but I picked up a kilo.
Oh,
And that's why accountability partners are
Yeah,
good.
absolutely.
He keeps phoning me to see if I'm still on the straight
And you're
and
not
narrow.
answering the
No,
phone.
I'm not answering the phone, but you know what I need to do is I need to get my accountability partner back.
Yeah.
I was just hoping if I was very strict this week, that maybe I can phone him, next week and say, listen, I've lost 4 kilos.
But negotiating with yourself. I love it. Wow. The importance of an accountability partner. I love this conversation. So fitting as we get into the month of September. Do you have an accountability partner? Share your journey with us. 061 798 1075. Baby steps. Okay. You can start off with 1 box. And you know what? Even if it takes you 2 years, that's okay. As long as you finish, you start the race and you finish the race. That's the most important thing.
Sure.
Absolutely.
I think we should call her wise Natasha.
Why?
I love that.
She's just full of wisdom today.
Oh man, guys, we are absolutely loving this conversation. But before we let you go, just for someone wanting to reach out to you and saying, guys, I need help, I need, direction. How do I find an accountability partner? How do they get a hold of you?
So for me, I am on all social media, Tina Be Alive. My website is also tinabealive.com.
Fantastic.
And if you want to speak to somebody really gorgeous, just look for the big positive guy. I'll be there somewhere. Just type the big positive guy. As I
Look
said,
for the gorgeous guy.
I'm the last one left. You can type in the big gorgeous guy as well. That you never know what'll come up. You never know what'll come up.
I love it.
Yeah, but it's been such a privilege. Just this first it's been a half. No, it's been 3/4 of a year
Yeah.
that we've been together now.
Wow.
And it's just.
Why do I feel like you're going to say
flown.
it's finishing?
Yeah.
It's like I've got
Well,
bad
we
news.
in that
One of
like,
my new refreshment plans.
No.
One of the things I did want to say is the voice
Yes.
is still happening. Last week, after we said we were going to bring in some specialists, a voice specialist and a confidence specialist, that's still happening. We were up to about 25 people,
Yeah.
not more than that.
Probably more at this point.
Probably more than that. If you still want to get some lessons on how to improve your voice, not to improve the quality of the words that you say,
Yeah.
but to actually make sure that your voice itself is better. We're still here. If you send a message through to the station and send it to Natasha, or do I send it to you?
To the WhatsApp line.
To the WhatsApp line. Just send it to the WhatsApp line. If you are interested, you go onto the database. We'll be doing that in the next couple of weeks, and that's going to be a lot of fun.
Absolutely.
I just want to touch on some few messages before
Yes, I
we
see
wrap
that.
this conversation up quickly. One coming through from Lynette saying, good afternoon, guys. So since I'm an online English teacher,
Mhm.
my time is very limited. I decided to be diligent with my food prepping. So I'm eating healthier now.
Good one.
I also researched a few easy morning and evening exercises that I can do as well. And that is from Lynette. Thank you so much from
Oh,
Strand.
relatable.
And then
so awesome. Well done.
congratulations to Lynette. Another one coming through, Rosalind saying, afternoon, guys. Enjoying the conversation. Hope you're well. So I used to sing in a choir, but things happened in my life and I stopped singing. But this season, I'm going to try again.
Yes.
You go, girl.
You should come to The Voice. Huh?
Mm.
So you can give us a little
Wow.
demo.
Yeah, that'd be
it.
great.
We've got one singer coming there.
We got 2 now.
2 now.
2 now, yeah, baby.
Possibly 3. Keep them coming. 061 798 1075. What are you planning to do differently this month? Maybe you've got, you want to do meal prepping or meal planning. Maybe you want to go back to singing. Maybe you want to sleep earlier. We'd like to hear from you. 061 798 1075. I think Busi coming through as well on Facebook saying, happy blessed spring month. Beautiful Natasha, Romeo, as well as Andre and Tina. Thank you so much, Sis Busi. Also, as Andre has mentioned, if you want to be added to the database for The Voice, we advise you to send through your email address to our WhatsApp number 061 798 1075.
Coming up, a few bills to pay as well as traffic on the way and some more music, bringing us back to the CCFM Drive.
Thank you so much to Mr. Andre as well as Tina of Your Life.
Goodbye, wise Natasha.
Bye, guys. Have a wonderful afternoon.
Intelligent Romeo.